relationship between zeros and coefficient of a polynomial. So what basically are coefficients? So coefficients are, say if there's x square 3x square, so the coefficient of x square is 3. And similarly, if we have 2x, the coefficient of x is 2. If we have 4x cube, the coefficient of x cube will be 4. And now if we have 1x bar 0, the coefficient of x bar 0 is 1, but this is usually known as a constant term because the power 0 is x bar 0 is 1, so it's a constant term. Yeah. Now let's see how zeros of a polynomial are related to its say coefficients. Okay. Now say we have a polynomial ax square plus bx plus c, and there are two things that now if we factorize this, say we'll get two zeros, which is one is alpha and the second is beta. These are Greek letters for a and b, which are used to show the zeros of a polynomial. Okay, now the zeros are alpha and beta, and the coefficients are here are, I'll write it in a different color. So the coefficients here are of x square is a, of x is b, and the constant term is c. So this is basically what we need to know to learn about this, that the zeros are alpha and beta, and the coefficients are a, b, and c. Now let us see how they are related. Now say we have alpha and beta. Now there are two things, that sum of the zeros is the coefficient of x. Now the coefficient of x here is b, so that's b, the minus of b, it's the minus of b divided by the coefficient of x square, which is a, so by a. And the second one is when you the product of both two is c, the constant term c, that's c, by again the coefficient of x square, which is a. So now this is the relationship between the zeros, these are the zeros, and the coefficients of a polynomial. So any polynomial zeros, if you notice, if you add those zeros, you'll get in the form of minus b by a, or the product of the zeros will be in the form of c by a, which are the coefficients of the term. Okay, now say we take an example. Okay, so let's be say example b, maybe 3x square plus 5x minus 2. Now when we factorize this, let us see what comes out. Let's factorize this. Now we know 3 2s are 6. Now we have to divide 5x in a way it comes 6. So let's 3x square, 6 ones are 6. Now why we can't divide this into plus 3 and plus 2 is because there's a minus 2 over here. So when we divide it and multiply, it should become a minus 6. Now, so how do you get minus 6 is basically plus 6x and minus x minus 2. And here let's take 3x common. We'll be left with x plus 2. And now here we don't have anything common, so let's take minus 1 common because there's a minus common. I'll get x plus 2 here. Now let's take 3x plus minus 1 as further common. Okay, and that will be x plus 2. Okay, now after we have reached this, how we can find the zeros are by writing that 3x minus 1 is 0. So x is basically 1 by 3. And the second one, if x plus 2 equals 0, x in this case will be minus 2. Okay, now the thing is, we got our zeros here. The first zero is 1 by 3 and the second zero is minus 2. Now let us see if they satisfy the relationship between them. Okay, the sum of the zeros, let's add them in a different color. Let's add them in a different color. Yeah, let's add the zero. Say 1 by 3 plus minus 2. Now we add this, and now we know that the sum of the zeros we said is minus the coefficient of x divided by the coefficient of x square. Now add this, we'll get 1, and if we want a 3 here, we multiply this by a 3. So we're gonna get 1 by 3 minus 2 3s are 6 by 3, which is equal to minus b by a. Okay, now 6 by 3 is minus 6 by 3 is minus 5 by 3, and if you notice minus b, which is the coefficient of x here, if you notice, is 5, and the minus of 5 is minus 5, and a here is the coefficient of x square is 3, and we get it as 3. Now if you notice, they both are equal, so the first relationship is satisfied, so that's satisfied. The first one is satisfied. Okay, now second one, let's check the second one. The second one is the product of those two. So now let's say we multiply them. Let's multiply both of them. The first one is 1 by 3 into minus 2, and that should be equal to c by a. Okay, now when we multiply this, we'll get minus 2 by 3 should be equal to c by a. Now you notice c is the constant term, which is minus 2, and a is plus 3. So a is the coefficient of x square, which is 3, and so we can also say the second relationship is also satisfied, and that is how you prove the relationship between zeros and coefficients of polynomial if a question of that sort comes up.